If you're looking to buy cheap Rocket League items, be sure to check out today's sponsor RL.Exchange. They support all platforms, and offer a wide selection of Rocket League items to choose from, and have multiple payment options. Be sure to use code RLH at checkout for a 3% discount on your entire purchase.
Lost has looked very comfortable with finding those infield passes. If that is the case, Furia should have themselves a pretty standard start to this series, but in this game one alone, it's really been a couple of interesting starts where we've traded possessions back and forth, and Daniel doing everything he can downfield to get SSG on the board.
Well, that is not a carrier's goal. That is just making the most of a situation that Daniel didn't really expect. There was a whiff
from Furia that's kind of helped them maintain that midfield spot, but so far they've kept 3 up at a time. They haven't really been able to convert it downfield. And you're wondering whether or not that means SSG are going to be more than happy just to play boom ball here, because if you catch them like this, it's going to be easier to pop it over the backline defender when nobody's rotating for space. That's exactly what Spacestation do.
It's the man we want to see more from. LJ just bends his car one way, then bends it back the other. Despite starting this second game better, looking awkward as soon as they're in defense. And I think that's what Spacestation Gaming have realized. They can just hold out when Furia do come forward. They will get 3 goals, but now as Furia attacking Arsenal stage, Jan surely hooks it in to get Furia's first goal of the game, and there it is.
And this is great pressure too. I mean, Lost is able to get 2 defenders to bite on that mid push, and Jan comes in for the closing finish, but really
in this series, turning around the top of card. I mean, Daniel, everything's going through him, but LJ's really impressed me so far in the first couple of games.
Yeah, it looks like he's been more maybe of the catalyst of the offense than Daniel has. But as I say that, there you go. So a tie game very quickly, and that's the SSG offense that you're kind of accustomed to as Arsenal gets 2 to bite, and LJ centers it nicely for Daniel.
I don't want to keep on critiquing.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Furia.
only really credit Arsenal for setting it all up, but you do wonder where exactly were the defenders going, right? You're thinking maybe you pinch it towards the wall, bring it through the corner. You shouldn't have 2 that are that freely exposed, and you shouldn't have an open goal like this where Daniel has 2 members in front and he still finds a way to slot it.
Yeah, but LJ causing more chaos there, getting it past card. Lost misses again, and Daniel had to do a lot of work.
Lost
the finish wasn't easy.
Card's
to his left. Jan was to his right. In the end, it was just down the side. Jan, again, up against LJ. LJ, who's done so much good work this series. Almost gets it towards Arsenal. But Arsenal have tagged lackadaisical. That lets Lost in. And Furia, I think, really needed that with 1 minute 20 left.
Absolutely did. And that's all set up by Jan's 50 win. Card the follow-up as well. The pressure's mounting, and Lost just flies in single file there, and Lost kicks it out. A chance now for Furia offensively.
It's risky defending for a second, but it just about worked out for Furia. Arsenal do manage to have some control of the ball, though. LJ's going to be beaten here, though, by Lost. His speed has really started to help Furia, and it's going to really help them now as he takes the overtime.
That's just a beautiful play. I mean, Lost slows it enough, gets it around 2, gets it around 3. Goodbye on skates. Nice no. It very much feels like Furia are in complete control, and they have all the boost in the world to work with to clear this ball away and can keep the offense going.
What you worry, though, is that when a team is as delicate as Furia, if they have this position and don't make the most of it, they might live to regret it. But that hasn't happened. They do have their lead, and it's Lost with the goal.
And again, these 50s in the closing seconds of the offensive third for Furia.
Well, version 1 losing to NRG, it really has not been their split version 1. And so far, Spaceman, it's not really been Furia's, but this game and this series is looking more and more like the Furia of old, especially with LJ missing. Card says yes to the freebie, 1-0. Didn't have to do any work for that.
It's like when chickens look up in the rain and they drown. You look up once and you're like, oh, guess what? Waterfall. Boom. There you go. Card.
Just waiting. Spacestation just lapped that incision now, and there's only a minute left. Furia could double their lead. Lost had a real chance there to put that one on target. Daniel from the side. Arsenal beats his opponent. Arsenal should equalize here. And just like that, Furia's playstyle has backfired.
There was too much space for about 7 minutes in this entire stretch where there was opportunities here for SSG to just throw the ball down front. Arsenal flies off the backboard and gets close enough to creating havoc, but you slow it down to the midfield. Do SSG have enough just to keep this one up for another swing? I think they do.
Lovely fake, Daniel. He wins it with 7 seconds left. There was a fake in the air, but it's the Daniel show, really.
He doesn't win that without getting that midfield boost. He does not guarantee a Champions Field between these two teams, but it comes down to this final kickoff.
Oh, it's a good one for SSG as well. Arsenal can just flick it over the top. And Furia, it has to be said, have collapsed. It's good work from SSG, but 3-1 from the position they were in, that is painful for Furia.
It really
which
is.
Still 2-1 for Dignitas.
This long and winding series has gone all the way to Champions Field, and truly I've got no idea who is on top here. Furia looked dominant for a couple of games, but Spacestation Gaming have come roaring back, and they are punishing Furia.
And the last thing you want is Daniel to be the main one getting going for SSG. When you're getting on Champions Field, everybody
but the bump
commits.
isn't well timed. Daniel escapes with it.
Arsenal is so far out on some of his counterattacks, transitioning back to the defensive side of the field, and that means he has confidence in LJ and Daniel to do their best to keep this one out. No way, LJ just resets it cleanly over the last man back. It can't be that easy for SSG. I mean, he beats it on the sidewall, and that's it. That's the reset right over
Free
again.
victory so key. They've got 44 seconds left to hold against the Furia that have been reluctant to lose. You know, they've carried on fighting throughout, but Spacestation may well have beaten them here. LJ over double.
Oh, man.
That could seal it, and that does seal it.
LJ's gaming. He is gaming. Look at him go. Thanks for playing. Appreciate the game 5.
Justin, he is their talisman. That's the man they want to get on the ball.
Yeah, and if you're looking at kind of the top 2 players maybe on the field, you're, again, looking at Razebull and really Garrett. Like, those are the top 2 you're going to have to deal with, right? Like, Justin's, again, always a threat, always a problem, but Razebull is the catalyst for the offensive complexity, and if they're going to get going early, you're going to do it through him.
Look at the pace of Razebull there, getting the 100 boost and just dribbling around every single complexity player to watch at the start. You said if they can keep him quiet, well, so far they've not managed that, because that goal for complexity was pretty much an example of what they can do. The reason they're making grand finals and coming forwards, but NRG are finding form themselves, and it's 1-1.
I mean, this is just, again, a great touch by Squishy to set it all up. This is what he does, and Garrett flies into the lane and finds the opening. Justin had to close in on that touch quickly. If he takes too long, that's a pop over, and that's a win in game 1 for complexity. But then he falls off towards the corner, keeps the play alive. Nice communication out of NRG, and look what happens. Another open net. That's exactly what we were worried about just a couple of seconds prior, but Justin was still upfield, and Squishy puts it on a silver platter for Justin to finish it.
Yeah, Razebull, I think his wide rotation is probably NRG's most consistent performer. I'll agree with you there for sure. As he goes round the back and just sends that one long. CRR, though, is already there. Garrett comes again. Razebull from the side. It's going to backfire again. These mid-rotations for complexity, NRG is starting to read them.
I mean, that's just a bad touch from CRR. Right? Like, maybe you're thinking he's going to give it to Razebull, he's going to try to throw it towards the corner.
And then have to go through sort of round 1 playoff match to make the major. That's the level of stress that they could do without. But so far, they're going to have to put NRG to the sword. NRG might be about to double the lead here if he's got the redirect, and he has. It's 2-0 NRG.
I mean, 1 gets demoed in the process, but Razebull leaves it to Justin. Justin, beautiful reaction on that one just to get it downfield in time. Keep the offense upfield.
Now NRG are going to have a chance to show off their defensive prowess. As complexity are going to come back and come forward pretty much non-stop from this point forwards. Razebull tries to find CRR, and he does find CRR. Razebull still the difference when complexity do score.
And Razebull sets it all up beautifully as well. Around 2. NRG's got nowhere to go. You just close. You got 1 swing here, 1 push up field if you're complexity. That's a great start. That's a beautiful touch by CRR, but he can't win the 50. AJG the center to Razebull, still alive. Razebull again. He gets 2 touches. CRR finally finds the back of the net, and we're tied up with 2 seconds to play.
This is how complexity keep making the late stages in these tournaments. They just do not
right
give
now defensively,
up.
if you are NRG, you're just looking for a clear, get back to baseline, reset everybody. But possession to no one for the moment. Justin will try to keep this one alive.
And does so as well. Garrett G's there. Could be able to finish what he started earlier. Garrett G turns it around and takes the overtime.
Oh, he's the best player on this team for a reason. Justin off the ceiling. Garrett on his lonesome. I mean, it's an easy read, but CRR just waits.
Razebull, who has looked so dangerous to NRG. He can only get a touch into the center. CRR booms it long. Justin wants to take out AJG, but can't quite do it. And Garrett needs to get this boost, isn't able to. Razebull, just as I was saying he was getting quiet, he finds a little bit of space and he ain't gonna miss.
And he was the one to open up the offense in game 1, and he's been quiet since, but finally here he comes, right back up the gut. Beautiful placement. I mean, I think if you ask the majority of normal chats, not NRG stacked chats, yes, I think they would absolutely be the favorites. But that's kind of, again, even in NRG's worst days, that's the dangerous power of the squads. You never are going to count them out when things like this continue to happen. Squishy sets up everybody, and Justin finds the goal.
Fair enough. Squishy rolling back the years and just knocking so much more available from AJG and from CRR. And CRR is such a great attacking player in his own right. He is more than capable of attempting the carry role and just trying to keep the ball to himself a little bit more. This could be an instance. He just... Oh, okay, that was the right decision. Well, that was a pretty poor shot, but apparently it's worked out.
I mean, it's going to be easier when you have an enforcer upfield who can just bully his way towards the net.
Justin was sideways, okay.
There defensively, and Garrett will get the call back to clear. But Complexity were one of the first teams to move to that new region, and they went through a gauntlet of some of the best teams in North America. And they were constantly fighting for top 6 qualifications, so they know what the stress is like. They know what they have to do to keep themselves involved in these regionals, to keep themselves involved for qualifications at majors. And it's plays like this from AJG, who's been pretty quiet this series.
Yeah, but CRR getting involved again.
Situation like this. But if you're Complexity, don't stay timid. Don't play flat foot. Continue to put the pressure on Energy to make these defensive saves, to make these commits, and to force those challenges on the backboard. Like we've seen, it's a beautiful spread, and CRR gets involved early.
Complexity are fighting to get their 3rd reverse sweep this season. A team that just never say die time, but always a Complexity player there.
Well, the offensive looks for Energy haven't changed in this Game 5. They're still looking for those long clears and those long passes for a redirect, but you're starting to see Complexity meet that challenge now. They're not giving Energy the free space they had before. They're taking the ball away and intercepting those touches, and you're seeing the results of it. The catalyst here, Raise Bull, beautiful read, follows through on the ball. CRR just clears lane, and you got a 2-0 lead with a lot of
carry from Squishy. I think that ball was halfway in the goal. He did somehow endeavor to keep it out, and Raise Ball, though, is teed up AJG. Justin again slightly awkward in defense. Energy can't get rid of it. They're keeping it out just. But how long can it last where Complexity rotate this well and when they've got Raise Ball?
I mean, you can't really blame Justin for that. He's so low, and he just tries to play it out. That's beautiful follow-up from Complexity.
Interesting place, assuming that Complexity can go away and see this game through, as CRR almost gets a 4th goal in this Game 5. They'll go up against version 1 Spaceman.
Ooh.
Hang about. I was going to say the battle to win the group, but maybe there's a life still in LG.
I mean, that's the play they tried to do 2 minutes ago to get Justin Squishy in position that eventually got cut down and led way to...
A little bit dicey early on, so a lot of good early pressure from Spacestation. That's what you like to see, because that's what I always want to know is, do they have the firepower? And right now, it seems like absolutely JNaps can't make it back in time. Spacestation out in front first.
All out of everybody on the pitch. That's your leading scorer, Daniel. Open net.
Boost, and they ended up tripping over each other on transition, so you got to give a lot of credit to Spacestation Gaming. They're limiting some of the options that G2 has at their disposal. A lot of great boost coverage. And actually, what? It's just open? No way. Why is it just open?
Professional Rocket League, that's why.
Oh, okay. So LJ got caught in the middle. I think Daniel might have got bumped because
JNaps now up ahead, waiting for a juicy rebound. None coming as SSG again play great tandem defense, and they don't allow those extra opportunities until now. The interception, JNaps gets to Chicago, and G2's got the lead.
Felt like a little bit of a lapse of awareness right there. You could see at the start of that replay, LJ kind of just walking up.
Good things going for G2. Can they continue on Forbidden Temple? We'll find out. I mean, Daniel had that early goal, and that was it until that big flourish at the end. JNaps and Atomic combined for a little pinball action 7 seconds in.
Now that's just a great read from JNaps there on the sidewall, and LJ, he kind of gets put out in no man's land.
SSG traffic, and Chicago JNaps, good communication as they just let this one split, go right back to the end line, and
Daniel.
They will work from
they're gonna score,
and then LJ's just gonna pick their pocket and walk it home. And this one just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, you think it's great control, right? But somehow JNaps, I mean, as he cuts back to his own net and lets Chicago...
Oh, there's the chance, but Arsenal pops this away. Daniel's got it around JNaps. LJ's got to try and chase this down. Instead, Atomic is up by a mile. Chicago, it's still on the goal line and in. Chicago finds a way to give G2 the lead.
Yeah, LJ's the defender back here. He doesn't have any boost, and so he goes into the corner, which means Arsenal has to rotate back. They're 1-on-2, but thankfully the shot gets away from JNaps, and he couldn't really control the ball.
The team everybody is kind of looking at as we go through this third round, as Chicago will score. We'll get to that in a moment. 2 minutes remain, and G2 continues to press its advantage, and Spacestation have not had an answer.
I mean, great job, Arsenal. I mean, way to even get a hand on that one. Here's really where you got to get that offense started if you're Spacestation.
Dignitas in their matchup. Chicago, I'm trying to make a point here. Oh my goodness. Daniel can't stop Atomic. Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about how physics work. Here's Daniel in the net. Pretty much a dead standstill. Atomic full speed. They both can't.
That's a goal in the RLCS. All right. I'm telling you, it felt like it was a full moon last night in CRL, and it's just carried over to today. There's a shot rolling through. Daniel, the low bouncer, gets through the defense. And SSG's back within 2. They've got some life here with a minute 30.
That's a great bit of shooting from Daniel. Oh, what? That's such a great touch. Daniel, I love that idea. I don't know how Chicago got the wheels on it to tip that one away. Thought for sure we were going to be looking at 3-2, but a huge play, and that will put game 2 on ice. Oh, G2 finding ways to stymie just some wonderful offensive ideas for Spacestation. Sometimes it's just not there.
Pathic read with JNAPS to know that that ball was going there, but here goes Daniel now, getting around Atomic, getting around JNAPS as well.
Leaky.
Then through Atomic, only Chicago to beat.
Yeah.
And he did. LJ with Chicago just kind of dancing around on the goal line. Had to be aware of Daniel, had to be aware of LJ coming on, and he had no help.
Oh, and I mean, Chicago,
again,
if Daniel's got a lane, he's going to make the best play possible to make it scoreable.
So Spacestation scores first for the second game, but it does not matter as G2 have a quick answer yet again. It's Chicago, who's just about on a running riot at this point.
I should have went
running out of time as JNAP's got onto him, but there is Daniel. Pop that away. Arsenal will take this, so LJ had jumped. He burned a little bit of boost on that play, and it could be costly. Atomic with the redirect to push it forward, and G2's got a late goal again.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea from Spacestation, but it does demand perfect execution. LJ can't get back to it. Arsenal knows he's got to play defense, and of course G2 throw one down there and let their stars do what they do best. They find a redirect, they score on the kickoff. It was a good try, Spacestation, but it was not meant to be today.
Well, how about G2? Aggressors so far. Looking for somebody to pass to here. Tormand had beast mode across the way. He's going to have to chase that down to the corner. Looking for an opportunity. Going to take this himself.
Oh,
just stay clear. Calm waiting, and he'll put it home himself.
Just handed it to him. I mean, it's kind of an awkward spot for Kinsey. He's got to go and challenge this flip reset, and unfortunately pulls Lion Blaze off the goal line. And sometimes, as you can see, it leads to worse things happening. Kinsey and Lion Blaze both up to make a stop, and version 1 starting to get their hands back on the ball at least a little bit. Kinsey pressuring Calm, and it will pay dividends. Just a little tap as you're going up the wall there. It sent him out to space. Had no shot to save this.
Well, this was the scoreline in game 1. Version 1 took it. You never know when he's just going to strike from out of nowhere. Lion Blaze had to be wary of Torment coming in. Now Beast Mode second touch. Might need another to hit Calm. Oh, the two-man game works, and Beast Mode makes something out of nothing.
Oh, something out of nothing is right. This one got pieced together out of nowhere. Percy's going to be kicking himself for missing that ball. Another one of those ripped up the field, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him give a little more space as Torment makes a great save across his net, and the M80 pressing now.
Oh, Torment.
What?
To get a piece, doesn't matter. Beast Mode, another act of wizardry as he scored an overtime winner to give V1 a 2-0 series lead.
Kinsey for Lion Blaze. Kinsey as well, dishing it back. Okay, M80, it should be free. Percy kind of flubs it. Granted, it wasn't as free quite as I thought. He did have a bit of an awkward line. There was a defender. He will recover. It's a hang on. I still got it. Don't worry.
Simulated danger. Only for entertainment purposes. That's all that was. Percy's just trying to put on a little pressure now, trying to cap off a 1-0 victory to stay alive in game 3. Calm, headhunting, finding nobody. Big clear by Lion Blaze and Kinsey. No time on the clock.
Yeah.
Lion Blaze will put it away, and we'll see a 4th game.
Yeah, Beast Mode kind of rocking a hard place here. He's thinking, I'm just going to secure this corner boost in case I get the ball. That
Difference of experience in the RLCS there. As Calm now trying to dance around Kinsey. He's got this over Lion Blaze, but there's Percy for the stop. But version 1 applying a lot of pressure. Lion Blaze bumped down to the ground. He got stomped on, and Calm finished the job.
A matter of don't overcomplicate it. You've won the challenge through the corner. Just make sure it's as easy as possible.
M80. Knock them out of major contention and keep their hopes alive. Kinsey racing to the corner boost. He's also going to be called on to stop Torment. Had to put the brakes on, and Calm will score again. Version 1, just the threat of physicality is enough.
Yeah, Kinsey, that's actually the right play there. You know you can't actually go and challenge. Fire might go out if it goes on too long without putting one in the back.
Simultaneous demos from Calm and Kinsey against different players. Here goes Percy. He's got a double lined up, and he'll score despite the block. Percy comes through clutch.
Well, you wanted to score early, you found it. I mean, Percy just got up early, said, Lion Blaze, give me the juice. Here it comes.